Hello,
It's all yours.
everyone. Can you hear me out there?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm Felicia McFail. I am a native of Arlington, Virginia. I've been here all my life. Uh, Let me say 65 plus years. I'm very familiar with Arlington Village. Actually, I grew up on the street right before Arlington Village, which is 17th Street. So I been doing calligraphy for 30 plus years. When I went to school, handwriting was a subject, and all my teachers would say, "Hey, you have great handwriting." And so I took that under consideration because one of my teachers told me about calligraphy. But when you're young, you kind of not think about uh, doing calligraphy. You'd rather be outside playing. So, with that being said, I ended up going to college. I attended Norfolk State University in Norfolk, Virginia. After which, I came home and ended up pursuing calligraphy at the Corcoran School of the Arts. I started out self-teaching myself, but then I went on to go to the Corcoran. I'm also a part of the Washington Calligraphy Guild. And in 2007, well, let me say 2006, I was looking for a place to house my artwork. And of course, you live in Arlington, it's expensive to find places to house your artwork. So at the time, my daughter was using my basement because she was a DJ, and this was like the community hangout. But she ended up going to college, and when she did that, I did the renovated my basement so it would be an art gallery. So in 2007, I opened up the photo gallery, and it's been going very well since then. So let me just pull up my slide, my PowerPoint presentation. And of course, if you have any questions on a slide that I'm showing you, you can definitely put it in the chat and I'll let you know a little something about it. I'll try to explain it to you. Let's see. So you are sharing. Do you see it?
All I see is the Zoom screen. We don't have your actual slides up.
That's what I see. It says you are sharing. Okay, let's see what's happening. I did exactly what you said. Should I stop sharing and try it again?
Yeah, stop sharing. Try again.
Okay, let's see. So we share
And then you should select your slideshow.
and share. Hey, here we go. So,
There we go.
all right. So, my gallery is here in Green Valley. It is in the basement of my home, and you are definitely welcome to stop by. We have different events. So, over the course of 2007 to now, I have had over 20 different artists here exhibiting their artwork. So this gallery is basically a startup gallery for a lot of up and coming artists who might not have the funding to go into these big galleries and they're just starting out. So I've had photographers, uh, portrait artists, quilters, um, book signings, wine tastings. We have had uh, game promotions here. We have had several different kinds of artists in the course of that time. But it has
Felicia,
really been
Felicia,
picking
do
up.
you want to start this as a slideshow?
Uh, Not quite yet because I want
Okay.
to just, and
All right.
so, um, well, I lost my thought. So anyway, um, with that, in 2007, I opened up the gallery, so we had a lot of different artists here. So my first slide, uh, let's see. It's just this is like a quick pop-up of what's here in the gallery. I have a whole lot of different things here. But this piece is a piece given to my daughter. Like I do a lot of quotes. I do a lot of quotes. I do a lot of scriptures. And this was one of the quotes that was given to my daughter when she was in band at WNL. And the band instructor always wanted them to be on time. So this was something that was presented to me to do, and it's about time. Uh, Being early is to be on time. To be on time, I'm sorry. To be on time is to be late, and to be late is unacceptable. So this is a piece that I did. This is one of the popular pieces. So again, I do quotes, and my slogan is turning the spoken word into visual arts. So a lot of times I get poets to come in and they want to turn their poetry into artwork as well. And so I do that. And I also do is the 23rd song, and this piece is like 24 by 36, and I think it's like one left of this piece, but it was a very popular piece. So again, I do scriptures as well as whatever you can think that the that handwriting can do or a computer can do, I do it as well. So I do prayers. This is prayer. This is another popular piece. Prayers are very popular, and a lot of times people ask me, "Where can I hang this?" or "Where should I hang it?" And believe it or not, a lot of people hang a lot of these. A lot of the pieces that I do, they hang them in their bathrooms because that's where people normally stop for a minute and they have a chance to read. So a lot of times, a lot of my pieces you might see in bathrooms and foyers or rec rooms. So this is your state of mind. So I started out doing different series. My first series was the 7 great scriptures of the Bible. So I did like the one you just saw, songs, a 23rd song, and the Ten Commandments. So it was 7 different pieces that I did. And so my next series was the states. So I've done all 50 states and including Washington, D.C. And this is a real popular piece because a lot of times we have people who are transplants from other places. They want to have their state hanging in their house. It's a great conversational piece as well. I have a lot of this for like maybe a husband and a wife who live in this area but might not be from this area. I've had people purchase this piece who were leaving the country and they just wanted to have something to remind them of their home state. And a lot of times, one other person had purchased it for a college student. So again, this is 11 by 14, and I had it. What the attributes about this is it tells you when the state was into the union. when it came into the Union, the state bird, the state flower, all the attributes of the state is listed on this piece. I saw Wendy raising her hand, so if she,
You answered the question I was going to ask, which is what would, it's a little bit small to read. I was wondering what the word said. So
oh, okay, all
you
right,
jumped right into the answer without my asking.
oh, okay, all right.
We have another question. Are each of your
So,
pieces,
yeah, so they are also. Oh, okay.
yeah, we had another question. Are each of your pieces originals, or do you sell reproductions of the more popular ones?
Uh, the reproduction is, well, let me just say, the states are reproductions. The time is an original, and the 23rd song was a print as well. So I do some originals. A lot of times, people will call me and say, I want certain things done. And depending on the length of the piece or the word, how many words, the word count, it'll either be original or it could be a print. For instance, It Is Well With My Soul. That was an original piece. And I did this piece maybe 4 times already, and each time it's been an original piece. All of these pieces you can find, on my website, and I'll give you that information near the end of the presentation. So here we go. Last year I started doing watercolors. So the piece in the middle is a watercolor piece, and it's an original. Let's see. The Color of the Skin is a print, very popular piece. It's a quote by Benjamin Banneker. The Pineapple is original piece. It's also one of the first watercolor attempts that I did, and it is currently on display at the Arlington Contemporary Museum of Art on Wilson Boulevard, because I'm a part of the a vast tour artists. And then the other quote is an original, and that is a Loretta Lynn quote. So once again, I do a lot of quotes. The Skin and the Loretta Lynn, there, that's a 9 by 9 piece. The Pineapple piece is a 9 by 12. So these are other quotes that I have done. Um, Audre Lorde, this is a original piece. I've done this one about 7 or 8 times. Um, it is a multicolored piece. Each word is done in a different color. Actually, the quote is, "We must be the change that we wish to see in the world." And so each word is done in a different color. And that piece is about, I think that one was like a 10 by 15. It's kind of like a weird shape or a weird frame shape, which also brings me to the point where, people ask me, where do you get your frames? All different places. I've been to like thrift stores and saw a real nice frame. I'll pick it up, try to restore it. But I just pick them up from anywhere, and I do purchase them as well. So a lot of times, I had a couple of frames that were brought to me that belonged to people's great grandmothers, and they wanted to put something in it, like a scripture or a poem or something. So those are things to consider as well. This next quote is by Diane Carroll, which is my favorite. That's why it's up here. "If you are not invited to the party, you throw your own." And that is a great quote, especially for teenagers. They always like, well, I didn't get invited to go somewhere where maybe some adults as well. But throw your own party, be your own party. And so I think that that's a great quote. Um, any questions? Okay.
Yeah,
So the
somebody
next,
wanted to know,
okay.
do you sell unframed prints or is
Yes,
everything framed? Okay.
yes. I normally I put everything in a frame to give people a visual of what it will look like. But I do sell unframed pieces because a lot of can't determine what the decor of someone's house is. So I will sell them unframed. And sometimes what I've done is cut a mat because I do cut some mats as well. And I'll give them the mat and then they can get their own frame. So
Okay.
yes, great question.
Early on, you talked about a lot of the other artists and events that you've hosted in the gallery. Are those mostly local Arlington artists or are they people from all over?
No. And that's the one thing about the photo gallery. I've had people from DC, Maryland, Virginia. I even had one person who is a friend of my daughter's from New York. So I have the option of not just a lot of times with the county, you can only be an Arlington resident. You could be from anywhere. Um, I take everybody. So great. That's a great question. Um, Next slide. So Wilson, of course, again, I do a lot of quotes. A lot of times people send me quotes because they know I like doing quotes and they will say, fix this up, make it visual, turn it into visual art. And so this is one of the pieces that I actually turned into a visual art, just kind of combining his name along with his quote as well. So, and mostly all of my pieces are, I have note cards as well. So I sell note cards and all 50 states are in note cards as well. Excuse me. You can purchase any state that you want for whoever, like if you have a friend who lives in Tennessee or Nebraska and you want to just, let them know you're thinking about them, I have all the states in note cards. And I also do all the zodiac signs in note cards as well. Let me just check my list. So I told you about that. Okay, so right now, last month, where for 8 weeks, I was on the Arlington Art Truck. Liz, who told me about this event, I was on the Arlington art truck for 8 weeks, promoting calligraphy and family trees. And that was really a fantastic project. I had the opportunity to share calligraphy with people all over the county at the county fair, at the county markets, like they have the uh, farmers market in Columbia Pike, the courthouse, Cherrydale. I even went to Dorothy Ham School to the art classes. So I had an opportunity to go all over the county promoting calligraphy and family trees. And then I told you, right, currently now I have a piece along with my other colleagues in the art world at the Museum of Contemporary Art on Wilson Boulevard. And tomorrow I'm going to be at the second annual Community Day in National Landing, and I'm going to continue with the family trees. Someone saw me on that uh, on the truck from that committee, and they was like, "Oh, can you come to National Landing?" So I'll be at National Landing tomorrow from 4 to 7, again promoting calligraphy and family trees, and then and that event is at the Metropolitan Park. I don't know if people are familiar with National Landing, but if you've been around around for a while, used to be Crystal City, but I think it's still part of that. And let's see. And then,
Felicia,
yes.
before you go on to the DJ Lovely story, can you talk a little bit about what your setup is when you do calligraphy? I'm always so impressed with people that it all comes out to be straight lines. And, I know when I just do cursive writing now, I'm going all over the place. So
So,
what's your setup to make it so beautiful?
okay. So here's the thing. I have been doing this so long that I have the eye for the letter. I look at the bottom of each letter, and that's like my stop point or my starting point. I also use like a light box with lines on it sometimes, depending on if I'm using uh, doing big lettering, I do use lines. But I have acquired over the years the eye is my eye is real, just I can just look at it and tell, but it comes with practice. You
Mhm.
just if you're rushing, you're going to go up. And calligraphy is a craft that's slow. You can't do it fast. It's a craft for people who need to have patience. And so if you don't have patience, this is, I tell people, you got to have patience. I have a lot of people who come to me for classes, and that's the first thing I tell them. You got to have patience to do it because it's like learning how to write all over again. Um, and my setup is keeping the paper horizontally in front of you. Like when you're in school, they used to say, turn it slightly to the side. And so that's how you would
Right.
Right. But see, I write straight. The paper is always straight in front of me. And that's how you will get used to writing directly where the letters stop at the top. Like, for instance, when the T stops, that's where you're going to stop at the bottom for your next letter. And each letter has like 2 or 3 strokes. That's the other thing that people don't realize. You just don't make an A with 1 stroke. The A would probably have 3 strokes.
Mhm. One of the other questions
So
in,
I hope
yeah,
that answers your question.
no, it does. It's interesting. One of the other questions in the chat was how many different fonts you use, and maybe that's equally how many different fonts and how many different pens and thicknesses.
Okay, so um, let's say the pointed pen, that's the one people always say, oh, that's the one for weddings. You would see the copper plate, and so that's a different pen. And then you have the broad tip pen, and that's the one that you could use for Gothic. You can use it for italic. The pointed pen is a separate um, font by itself because it has its own pen. So for me, I do approximately 4 different styles. I started out with italic, and then I started learning how to do Gothic or Old English. And then I went to Unsell. And then the last one I learned was the pointed pen or copper plate because I knew if I learned the copper plate first, I wouldn't learn the rest of them. So I kind of paced myself to do all the chisel edge pointed fonts first before I went and learned how to do the pointed pen. So let's see. I'm trying to think of something else I could tell you that. Oh, I told you I do a little framing for basic frames. I do that. And it's very interesting because I've been doing this for over 30 years. And so I've been going to these different art stores, and a lot of times they give me their scrapped um, poster board or mat boards. And that's been a blessing in itself for me because I'm able to matte. A lot of the pieces that I have from the scraps I get. Not a lot of large pieces, but if I do decide to do large pieces, I'll buy the mat board myself. A lot of things have been donated to me, like sometimes I'm blessed, but sometimes people drop off art here, you know. So I'm turning art over. Like, say for instance, you have a piece in your house and then you see a new piece and you're like, ah, what can I do with it? So a lot of times people bring a piece here and I'll sell it for them, you know, and we just to flip art. So you can get a different look in your home, like if you paint and you want to do something different. So that's another thing that I do. I'm looking around.
Felicia, do you do anything on a medium other than paper? I mean, do you ever, is doing something on wood or a whole different skill set?
For me, it is. Everything I do is on paper.
Mhm,
Yeah. I have also tried to. Well, I'm looking into doing stuff on glass.
mhm,
That's a new medium for me. I'm looking to start doing glass because glass would incorporate mirrors.
mhm.
And a lot of times, mirrors are used for guest lists at weddings. But I find that the mirror has to be really kind of big because I tried it. And I had a bout with sciatica, so I'm not real good with that
Mhm.
bending sort of thing. So I do some small pieces on glass, but wood, not necessarily wood. No. Any
One of
more?
the fun, if I can just interrupt, I'm sorry. One of the fun things happened for me once. I went to a wedding and they had done a piece of, their vows. And then it was set out so that attendees at the wedding could all sign it. And just
Could
all
write
the
around
guests
it.
could
You
sign
brought,
around the edge and with the
yes,
name,
yes.
framed art and stuff like that.
So I did something similar to that at a birthday party for a 1 year old.
Mhm.
And so I did it, his name and the year. And I also did meaning of his name. And then everybody was able to write around it that attended his first
Yeah,
birthday.
it's very nice.
That is a very and then they framed it. So that's
Mhm.
a good piece to do, a good idea. Yeah. So any more questions about the calligraphy?
Yeah, we have somebody said it looks like a lot of your work, um, the lettering is done in black or blue ink. How many other colors do you use?
Well, I use all the colors. Um, if I go back to this piece, there's like green, red, black, all the colors are there. Any color that you actually want, whatever color Indian ink comes in, and it comes in a lot of different colors. I do a lot of wedding invitations with white ink, depending on the color of the envelope. The last one I did, the envelopes were green, and so I did pointed pen with the green envelopes with white ink. So I can use any color ink. That's not a problem. Even in the one here with Diane Carroll, the party is done in different colors. So yeah, I don't do a lot of colors when I'm doing pieces to sell because I like people to see it in a basic color, which is black, because I always think about people's decor. And you know, if they want me to switch it up, then I'll do a custom piece for them, or they can commission me to do whatever colors they would like. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, but it generated a follow-up question.
Okay,
Do
all
you
right.
do gold and silver ink?
Um, a little bit ago, but not much. No, I don't
Okay.
want to. Gold is touch and go, and it looks really good on black paper. And I haven't did a lot of that. I do a lot of the white though. Yeah. But again, if somebody is interested in gold or silver, there on the Washington Calligraphy site, I have a lot of colleagues who do specialize in gold and they specialize in silver. And you can definitely commission them to do whatever. So let's see. Is that So this is a quickie here. I mentioned to you that before I turned my basement into a gallery, my daughter was DJing. She took classes at TJ, Thomas Jefferson Rec Center, and she used my basement at the time for all the neighborhoods. She had parties and she started a little business. And so everybody always asks me about how she got started. So I wrote a book about her journey as becoming a DJ, and there she is, a music executive in New York for BMI. And so this book talks about, her childhood from birth all the way up until she gets a job at BMI. So I became a self-publishing author in 2003, 23, 23. So that's what that's about. I like to share that with people as well. And this is all my information about the gallery and where it's located, my email. I'm on all the social media platforms now, um, Facebook, Instagram, whatever's out there. My daughter has encouraged me to be there since I'm a business. So that's my information. Now, the gallery is closed for June and July. A lot of times that's a slow time for me because people are on vacation, kids out of school, people are doing things with their families. So I don't have a lot going on. So right now I am reorganizing the gallery for, the fall. So hopefully in August, we will open back up. I'm not saying hopefully we will open back up in August, but I do a newsletter every week. And my current series is The Wisdom of the Alphabet. So I did a quote for every letter of the alphabet, and the alphabet, I didn't put that one on here, but I'm promoting that on my website, on my Facebook page. You can see all the letters of the alphabet, and each one comes with a quote, as I mentioned. But I'm in week 22 of that. So I started doing Facebook Lives on Wisdom Wednesdays. So I'll be doing Wisdom Wednesday tonight, which is Wednesday. And the letter will be V. And so if you want to join me, I'll be on Facebook Live on the photo page, not my personal page. And that's what I'm promoting right now is the wisdom of the alphabets. So that's pretty much who I am, what I do. I would love for you to join me if you want to get emails from me about upcoming events. Just email and put in the subject line, joining the photo mailing list, email list, and you will get emails from me. Right now, I only do them once a week, so I don't want to bombard people with a whole lot of emails because I don't like that myself. But yeah, I do emails once a week, and this week I'll be promoting the letter V. And I also give you a little bio about the person who the quote who says the
Okay, we've got a couple
quote.
more
So,
questions.
any other questions?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Can you give us a rough sense of the price of your original artworks?
So, very good question. Everything is based on word count. So, for instance, um, my I don't have it in front of me, but um, if it's a small piece, the word count might be 25 cents a word,
Mhm.
Hmm.
or it will be 35 cents. And plus the layout. The layout, depending on the size, is either going to be like $50, $75, or $100, depending on how many words. So everything is based on word count.
Mhm.
And so people like, oh, the other thing I do is family trees. So that's a big thing that requires word count for names. And people always say, well, how much is it? And each family amount of people in the family, so you can't charge everybody the same thing. And so that's why I base everything I do on word count. So the other thing is I do free estimates. So if you want to know how much something will cost you, you can email me your piece um, with the words, or you can say, hey, my poem has 55 words in it. I want a certain color, and then I'll send you an estimate back, and it's good until the 31st of December of this year. So you have time to think about it. Um, and that's how it normally works for me. I don't want to say all calligraphers do that, but I do word count.
Okay, next question is, are invitations a popular commission, and how long does it take to do those?
Um, Invitations have become kind of lackadaisical, I will say. People don't do it a lot because they spend more time or money on other things. But last year, I would like to say I was commissioned to do two weddings. And one was the one I mentioned with the green envelopes and the white ink. And then the other one was just white envelopes with black uh, ink. Let me just say that as a former postal worker, a lot of times if you don't use black ink, it slows up your invitations simply because the machines are reading, they're looking for black ink, and people don't realize that. So if you send them out early, you're good. The turnaround time is, I normally do like, if it's 100, I like to have like a week. And when I say a week, I'm talking 7 days because I can't do, my hand won't allow me to do all of them at one time. So I do like a hundred per week. And that will give me an opportunity. If I have another job going on, I can kind of go between both of them. So I would say a week per hundred.
Now, you mentioned Washington calligraphy. How big is the calligraphy community in the Washington area?
Oh wow. When I left, well, it's the Washington Calligraphy Guild, but we also have members from all over the country, Canada, Europe, um, you name it. There's people from all over. It's called the Washington Calligraphy Guild, and they're also on the World Wide Web, and you can definitely check. I don't want to give you a number. Um, I'm not sure what the number is now because I hadn't even checked. But it is, it says Washington Calligraphy Guild. It was created by Sheila Waters, who passed a couple of years ago. And Very well known guild, probably one of the first calligraphy guilds that was established in the US. So you can Google it and find out any information about that. Uh, they do classes as well. They do exhibits. They send out newsletters. They do a scripted magazine that each member gets once a year. So yeah. Um, And the membership for that is about regular membership is like $40. Yeah, $40. And out of the country, I think it's about 65. That's based on postage and all of that. And there's and all of that, yeah.
You also mentioned teaching classes. How often do you do that, and how big is a typical class, and how long do they
So,
last?
okay, so classes, the last class I did was about a year ago, and I had two people. Um, a lot of people are now going to classes on up to go to do online classes. So a lot of people do um, take classes online. Now I have been asked to do script and sip. I don't know if you've seen those on Facebook or social media, but that is like a calligraphy class where it's you have a glass of wine and you're learning how to do calligraphy and you're fellowshipping with other people and at the same time you're learning calligraphy. So that's something that I'm looking into because that would be, I guess, a means of getting people to get involved with it. And also trying to keep the art form alive. Because calligraphy is a dying art form, but it's such a beautiful craft. But again, people they want to know how to do it, but everything is done so fast these days. You know, everybody thinks everything has to be done really fast, and calligraphy is definitely not a fast craft.
Felicia,
Is
I know
it
you,
taught much in the schools around here?
That was one thing that I was promoting on the Arlington Art Truck. Um, what I noticed was all the kids who learn cursive writing, they go to private schools. Private schools are big on cursive writing because they understand that the hand and the brain works spontaneously with each other. And so um, I noticed every child that came to the art truck, they was like, "Oh, we do a cursive writing in school," and I would ask them, "What school do you go to?" And they would tell me, Arlington Traditional School definitely is the only school in the county that teaches cursive writing. But no, they don't. They don't teach it. And I also, while I was on the truck, there was a flyer that I was passing out that is my next series on social media. There's 10 reasons why handwriting is important. And so I gave everyone, all the parents, a flyer, which listed all 10 reasons why handwriting is important. And it also gave some information about where to find me if my information was on the back. So, yeah, it's not really promoted in Arlington County schools anymore, which is a shame. But I do know that a lot of kids want to know how to write because if they don't write it, they can't read the Constitution or the Bill of Rights or any of that because if you can't write it, you can't read it. So that's really a problem. But good question. Yeah.
Good
Wendy,
question,
did
good
you have
point.
another question? I'm sorry, Wendy.
No, I thought that was a great point, what you just said. If you can't read it, you can't, if you can't read it, you don't know
Right.
what our history is, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I just think it, as a calligrapher, I think it's just such a sad thing that handwriting isn't a part of the curriculum here in Arlington or across the country. I noticed that about 1995, that's when they started taking it out of the school systems. And the reason why that year kind of works for me is because my daughter is part of the last generation who learned how to write in cursive. And um, it's really a shame. Which I mean, this has nothing to do with calligraphy, but even with learning how to do math manually, there was a period around that same time when the school systems brought in Texas Instrument um, uh, computer held calculators. And so I was at this job, and one of the kids came in that they were training, and they saw like the calculators, with the paper in it, and they were like, "What is that? Is that from the 1950s?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And it was like, "I never seen a calculator like that." They have no clue about adding or doing anything because the computer does everything for them. And so that's the same thing with handwriting. They depend on the computer for everything, the math, the writing, and then with AI, why even go to school? Like everything's so convenient for them. So yeah. Any
Okay.
more questions?
No, it looks like we've covered everything at this point.
Well,
Um,
I hope everybody enjoyed it. Um, how many people are on here?
we had upwards of, we had about 18 people for the
I can't
better
see
part
it
of the
since I
evening.
have my PowerPoint. Oh, okay. All
Yeah, we
right.
had about 18. Some have dropped off within the last couple of minutes, but about 18 was
Okay.
our for most of the event. I think it's, I mean, I can't tell you how much, I don't, I sometimes don't have the time to join these, but I stayed on and how much I appreciate hearing what you're doing. And I'm already thinking in my mind about different opportunities, um,
Oh, great.
for some signage to draw attention, even just to Arlington Neighborhood Village.
Okay.
It's a
That sounds
beautiful
great.
space.
So,
I know Liz was trying to say something. Go ahead, Liz.
Yeah, it's a beautiful space, and maybe A and V could have an event there, a gallery
Mhm,
viewing, because it's just a fabulous place to see art.
mhm. Definitely.
and I want to thank you, Liz, for this opportunity. I know I was scheduled earlier in the year and I wasn't able to make it, but I thank you for suggesting me to the village as well. And it was such a pleasure meeting you. And it sounds like a great idea to have you all come by.
Mhm.
Maybe, in August or September when, I'll reach
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
And
Um,
absolutely.
one,
and Liz, you're on my mailing list.
oh
Or
yeah, on Instagram.
okay, so you might see something that I'm doing here at the gallery, and you might think that it's a great thing to bring um, the village over.
Okay, and I don't know if other people have this, but there's a delay on your, I'm hearing you a bit delayed. So if
Say
people have been
yes,
sort of jumping on you, it's not
yeah.
because we're rude, it's because we think you've finished a thought and you're actually mid-thought.
Oh yeah, it's been going on the whole time. So I've been, I realized,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was good. Yeah. So definitely, I'm always excited to meet new people. especially in Arlington. I've been here, like I said, all my life. So this is a great opportunity where you can come and fellowship with people, meet new people. People in Green Valley come by. We have had like a happy hour. Sometimes we have happy hours, and you could just come by and just relax.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Liz has been here, so she can vouch for me. So yeah, it's a good space. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's really been very enjoyable.
Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
I hope to see everybody soon in the flesh instead of, by social media as well. It will be great.
Thank you.
Okay.